How did each of you guys get attached to the project? How did you hear about it? Audition process?
I was headhunted actually. I got a phone call. We're dying to have her on board, so you know.
My path is the most boring, so I'll start. I just read the script, and in the pilot episode, Max isn't in it very much, so I was kind of intrigued to know how he was going to fit into the bigger picture and what was going to become of him. They very openly said, well, we don't really know who he is, and actually very early on he was written a bit more like Alec. It's a bit more manly and sort of, street talking, and a very different character to what he became. But that's because they were very open and they just said, well, you do what you want, and I was thought it was more interesting to explore the psychological path he might take than perhaps the sort of physicality, which I can't, in case you haven't noticed, bring to the role. So I sort of used.
Sure.
Well, I was going to say that exactly. I'm just going to add that Matthew's casting Matthew in this part, I think, is just so brilliant. I think it. Creatively, his choosing Matthew for this part is
terrible.
I was really surprised, to be honest, because it was a very different character to me. I really didn't think I had a chance of it because of how it was written. So actually seeing them be so open and casting me, and that was that made me very interested and want to do it. That made me really want to pursue it because I knew I'd be given some free rein to do what I wanted. But yeah, you came to it in a much more dramatic and interesting way than I did.
Yeah. A little bit. Well, I heard about the project for a couple of months. They've been out there, like, things like this don't come around a lot. And I got a script at like 7:30 on a Tuesday morning, and my agent said, "Can you make this audition in 3 hours?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I've got 26 pages to learn." And I went to the audition, made it, and got in there. And she said, "Wait, we'll stay here for a minute." And she came back with a computer and was Skype to Canada. And I did a Skype audition with the executive producer and met him over Skype with a time delay, and did the whole lot. And I was like, okay, we'll walk out like you do with an audition, thinking, well, we'll see what happens. And I got a call the next day from Canada, from the executive producer, and all he said, "Josh," I went, "Yeah," "Are you ready for your life to change?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And he said, "You got the gig," and he flew me out 13 hours later. So within 2.5 days, I had to leave my house in London, left everything behind, and was filming within a week. And my second day out in Canada, I had a chemistry test. Leah walked through the door.
Yeah, I'd been on a handful of auditions over the summer, and I wasn't quite sure exactly what they were looking for. I saw them bringing in a lot of different people, and at one point was told me I was no longer being considered for the part, and then a week later I got a call saying you have a chemistry test tomorrow with this bloke that they've cast, and they brought him out from England, and so yeah, I walked into a room with Joshua and our producers, and that was that sealed the deal. Apparently, we had chemistry.
How much change happens for the show between what you guys read on script and what you film, and then what we as an audience are going to eventually see?
What will change is the editing, I suppose. What's being cut together is very hard for us to visualize sometimes. But
oh my God, as actors, it's like you have no idea. You walk in, you have something prepared, you work with it, and then what you see however many months later is you can have no attachment to what you've done because you don't know which take they're going to choose, you don't know which angle they're going to choose, you don't know any of that.
Different to visualize what's on the page. You're not, the set that we had was remarkable, and so that and the props and everything really comes to life. So there's an evolution there, but from when we're filming on the day to the finished product, there's music that's been attached, and there's all this stuff. So that's kind of different.
One thing that I've noticed from watching the first episode is it moves so quickly. The show just clips along so quickly. It's very, very fast storytelling, very smart, very cunning storytelling. Fast.
Do you guys get to improv very much, though? Like, in terms of the dialogue between you?
It wasn't really that.
No, it wasn't really that kind of show. That kind of stuff happens a lot more when you're doing comedy than when you're doing drama. That's because the script, everything that's in the script is there very much for a purpose, and the script is a character as much as we are, because it's like setting up dominoes. And especially with Rogue, which is what I'm big on, is that everything that was done here was done for a reason, and we paid credence to what had come before. If someone was killed, or if there was an argument, or if there was a love scene, or if there was a fight scene. It wasn't just there because they wanted to have bit of violence in the show or a bit of sex in the show or whatever. It was there for a reason. And that's what bothers me with a lot of TV shows that I've watched, that they don't pay credence to what's come before. Someone dies and then suddenly the next episode they're carrying on eating nice lolly as if nothing happened. And then that's not real, and that's not real characters, and that's not what happens in real life. If I go out and kill someone in the street, that is going to have a mark on my soul forever and ever.
Also, there's very much a deliberate move to step away from like the gritty realism, docudrama element of a lot of crime shows that were already out there. There's no point trying to replicate that, no point trying to be the next Wire or something. That's not what we're about. It was about this more heightened sense of the way it's shot with the lighting, and then for the acting, the dialogue has to follow in that trend and that path, which is very scripted and very deliberate, like I said, very concise and economic with everything that's being given.
And poignantly placed, like everything is very specifically meaningful.